And she reads the agreement and she goes, so you're gonna pay this guy $1,200 to do ads for us and you don't even know him? You're seeing this shit? That was crazy. I was seriously not expecting that shit to happen right there and then. On this video, I'm gonna be telling you guys about the day that I got kicked out of a Harley Davidson dealership right after the contract was locked in. It was super crazy. I would have never expected this shit to happen. So I'm gonna share with you guys so you can have a little laugh or you can learn something If this is your first time on my channel, my name is 𝙎𝙤𝙘𝙞𝙖, and basically what I do is that I own a small marketing agency that focuses on dealerships, and I'm also a 5+ figure seller on Amazon, and I also mentor about that as well. If you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button so you can be on top of all the videos that I post on a weekly basis. This is literally how it went. I think this happened probably like 2-3 years ago, more towards 3 years ago. I was prospecting for dealerships and I saw there was this franchise Harley Davidson dealership near the house that I used to live in before. So I was like, you know what, let me just cold call them. If worst comes to worst, I'll probably get hung up on. Mind you, I was young and I was starting to cold call dealerships. I barely had any type of experience cold calling, neither had I taken any type of training before, so you get the deal. I was new, right? So I cold called this dealership, and the first time I called them, they called it and go through because at that moment we were going through a storm, so their lines wasn't working. But I wrote their name down and I called them the next day because I was determined to get in front of them, right? I was hungry, and I still am hungry for work, but I was super hungry. I just wanted to get in front of a dealership, and more than that, it was a franchise, right? It was a franchise, big money. I'll get in front of them, I'll close them up, and you know, I'll start my way up from there, right? So I called them the next day. I spoke, I believe, with the secretary, and the secretary was one of the owner's daughter, and she transferred me to the sales manager. So I speak with the sales manager, and we're speaking for a good like 5 minutes, and you know, he explains me a little bit what they do with their advertising and whatever. And long story short, I locked in the appointment for, I think it was exactly a week after that day that we had spoken. The day the appointment came, I remember I actually had school, so I had to leave out of school early, right? So I can go to that meeting, so then I can, you know, have the chance and opportunity to close a franchise dealership for the first time. So I went in, and the first person I see obviously is the secretary. Now, mind you, at this point, I didn't know that the secretary was one of the owner's daughters, because I believe there was like 3 owners and they were all brothers, right? So it was a whole family business. So I went in, I spoke with the sales manager. I don't think the sales manager was part of the family, but I went in, I spoke with him, and I was there for like a good hour. I did my whole presentation, and he loved it, but he couldn't make a decision right at the moment because he didn't have the power to make a decision. I was literally just putting my foot in the door, so then he can transfer me to someone else, so then we can, you know, talk business. So he liked the product. I presented to him. I was very clear and honest with them. I said, listen, I do this for car dealerships. I haven't done it for a motorcycle dealership, but I am sure that if this was able to work for a car dealership, I'm sure I can definitely get this to work for you guys. He liked the price ranges. He loved everything. He loved the product itself, and I think he liked the way that I presented the product as well, right? Because otherwise he would have never gave me the chance of actually coming in and presenting him the product. So long story short, he said, let's schedule. So the manager, the person you have to speak to about this is not here today. So let's reschedule a meeting where the 3 of us are here, and you can present it to him. I'll give him a little overview of what I understood from this and what I think about it, and we'll schedule a meeting for next week. And then that way you can present it to him with us 3 being present, right? I was like, sure, there's absolutely no problem with this. Thank you very much for the opportunity, right? So I left, a week went by, and I called them just to confirm the appointment that we had for the next day, which was the day that we were supposed to meet. That day we did not end up meeting because the guy that I needed to speak with I think he was busy. He was handling some family things that were going on. I don't know. All I know is that he wasn't able to make it for that day. So we then rescheduled for another week after that. And I called in, did the same thing to confirm the appointment for the next day, obviously, so I wouldn't just go there and just lose my time, right? So I went in, so I called, he said, yes, we're still on for tomorrow. He told me that he'll be able to make it tomorrow. And yeah, it was actually a time that actually worked for me because it was during the week, and I had school at that point, but I didn't have to skip classes to get to that meeting. So the day comes and I go to the dealership. Normally I greeted the secretary. Hey, I have an appointment with so and so. Is he available at the moment? He goes, yeah. Let me just go grab him for you. So she went and grabbed him. He took me and we went to his office with the other gentleman, which was the sales manager. And I did my whole product presentation, everything. He liked it. He said, hey, you look very young, which I was, and I looked like I was like my age back then. You look very young. I would like to give you this opportunity. We'll sign for a 3-month agreement. If you're not able to deliver on your services by the 3 months, like constantly, then we would have to let you go, which I understood, obviously, right? I wouldn't expect them to be with me if I wasn't delivering on my services, right? It was common sense. So I was like, sure, I agree. Let's do this. Let's sign this deal. Then he called Denise and he said, hey, just make a copies from this agreement because we're signing up with this guy for a 3-month period for social media advertising. And then Denise literally looked at me like, huh? I was like literally super lost. I'm like what do I say? Or so I just stayed quiet, right? Because I was dealing with the owner. So I just stayed quiet, and he was like, yeah, just make the copies and stuff like that. And then she reads the agreement and she goes, so you're gonna pay this guy $1,200 to do ads for us and you don't even know him? And I was like, Martha, calm down, Martha. Nah, I'm playing. But no, literally, she was like, you're giving this guy $1,200 to do the ads for us, and this is like the first time you see him? Like, what is wrong with you? And then she went and called over the other sales guy, and he was like, you're seeing this shit? He's paying $1,200 to a guy that he just met to do the Facebook ads for us. Is he nuts? As I said in the beginning, at that point, I didn't even know that they were family. And then he explained to me, he was like, oh, that's just my niece. This is a family business, as you can probably tell. And things aren't as organized as I'll like to have them, right? I was like, sure, no problem. I mean, I don't really get what's going on. But sure, right? And as I said, I was young. I didn't have any experience. I didn't know what to say. So I just like stayed there. I was like, yeah, that's no problem. Doesn't bother me. So he told me just to follow him to another part of the dealership. Like it was like another building. So we can get everything going, so he can get all of my information, so he can give me the paycheck and all of that, right? So I went with them and whatever. They got all of my information down. Actually, they gave me like a paper. It was like a W-4 or something like that, which I didn't understand at the time. I didn't even have an LLC, so I guess maybe to keep track of what they were paying me, I guess put me on payroll. I don't know. I know obviously they were gonna pay me up front, but I don't know why they needed all the information. So they gave me a paper, say, hey, you just filled out this paperwork, blah, blah, blah. I was filling it out. And then as I was filling it out, right, like literally, like say this is the building, right? So here's the door, and my back was facing the door, so I wasn't seeing what was going on behind me, right? So out of nowhere, boom, there's this guy that comes like literally out of nowhere. He opens the door. Where is this guy? Where is this guy? And then he looks at me and says, so you're the social media guy? I was like, yes, what's going on? He said, get the fuck out of here now. I'm like, huh? I was like, excuse me? And the brother at that point, the brother wasn't there. The brother went to the bathroom because there was a little bathroom in there as well. So there was like a table, then there was a hallway, and then there was a bathroom. So like he couldn't really hear what was going on because it was like a little bit further down. And I was just there by myself. There was no customers, nothing, right? He literally said, get the fuck out of here right now. I was like, oh, excuse me? Who are you? Mind you, this is fucking tall white guy comes out of fucking nowhere and talks to me like that. The first thing, but he had the Harley Davidson shirt on. So the first thing that comes to mind is either I get up and there's gonna be problems, I get my stuff and I walk out of here and nothing happens, or I wait for the guy to come out of the bathroom so we can see what the hell is going on, because I was fucking lost. So the guy comes out of the bathroom and he hears us speaking and he says, whoa, what the hell is going on here? Whatever the name of the other guy was. And he said, oh, how you gonna pay this guy $1,200 to the advertising for us if we already spent like $10,000 in advertising and billboards and shit like that, and it's not working for us and whatever. So I try to calm him down. To explain them a little bit. I was like, hey, like, calm down. Like, you know, we're doing business. Like, I'm actually here to help you guys. Like, I'm actually here because I know that you guys are not getting the return on investment that you guys should with the billboards, right? Because obviously it's billboards. Not to say that they don't work, but they just don't work as efficiently as digital advertising do. And he was just like, at that point he was listening to me, and then he was like, you sound very salesly aggressive to me. And then the brother jumps in and says, obviously that's what we need. He's good at what he does. Like, don't you see? And he was like, $1,200 is too much money for this service, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, what would you feel comfortable paying, just so I have an idea? He goes, I'll give you 600. And if you're able to give us results in the 3 months, we'll bring it up to the normal price. I was like, fuck no. Fuck hell no. I'm not doing this shit for $600. I'm not doing it. The guy was being cheap. The guy was being disrespectful. At that point, all I wanted to do is beat the fuck out of him. And you think that I was gonna work for 3 months for $600 a month to do their ads and to make sure they're selling at least 4 or 5 motorcycles per month? I was like, fuck no, you can do it yourself. I literally grabbed my stuff, I left, and then the guy called me. He was like, hey, I know like the things didn't go as planned, right? Like, I know that, you know, this wasn't professional at all, and I apologize for that. I'm gonna speak with them. We're gonna speak at home about it, and I'm gonna get all the family together and explain them what happened. I'm gonna tell them what you do and why I want to try your services, and then we can go from there. I was like, sure, just get back to me, but listen, that wasn't professional at all. He was like, yeah, I agree with you and apologize, blah, blah, blah. So we hung up. After that, obviously, after all of this happened, obviously, I wouldn't have wanted to work for them. I don't know if it was because of my skin color, because I look Hispanic, or what it was that he came off to me that way, right? And obviously, like, the first thought I had was like, I'm like, fuck these people. I'm about to send like 100 people to leave like a bad review on their Google and this and that, and tell them what happened, and, you know, write comments and stuff. This fucking racist bastard, this and that, whatever. But I didn't do any of that. I just literally let it go. I was speaking with one of the guys that used to help me out. He was like, bro, just let it go. It's not even worth it. Like, you could do all of that, but at the end of the day, what is that gonna solve? That's not gonna change the guy, right? It might hurt business a little bit, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. He said, just don't even focus on that anymore. Just keep on going forward, and just focus on calling other people, right? Calling other dealerships. So I was like, you know what? You're right. You know, I'll just leave it like that. And, you know, if somebody asks me for a recommendation to purchase a bike, then obviously they wouldn't be the first ones that I will be speaking about, right? So I left it like that. The deal never happened. They never called me. I didn't want them to call me because I didn't even want to work with them no more, because even though I was young, I had values, right? So I wouldn't just, if they called me just for the $1,200, whatever, I think 12, whatever it was that I said, I wouldn't just have came back and, yeah, let's do this for 3 months, blah, 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 and then we can go off from there. If that was the starting of how it was gonna be, then imagine how it would have been down the road, right? But I was definitely not somebody I would want to work with. So I'm glad that first I, you know, took it. I really acted very professionally. You know, for me to be young, I just took my things and left. I am glad that we didn't end up working together. They didn't call me because I didn't want to work with them, as I just said right now. And, you know, I'm not sure how they're doing right now. I don't think they even have somebody run the ads for them, but I would never even help them out just because of the level of disrespect that, you know, went on in that meeting. And honestly, I was angry at first, but it didn't get to the point where it discouraged me to keep on going looking for businesses. It didn't discourage me for looking for other dealerships. It didn't discourage me from going door to door. It didn't discourage me from cold calling other dealerships, and none of that. I was angry at first, but then I just kind of took it as a fire to you know, just go and get it. Like, literally, that's how I looked at it. I was like, if that happened, you know, you're young, keep on going. That's not the only dealership around here, right? That's only one out of hundreds of dealerships around this area. So, and that's exactly what I did and what I'm still currently doing. And that was a big lesson for me, as well as for you guys, I hope so, because if you guys ever come to that point where, you know, for X or Y reason, there's like a family feud or something, and you know, the people from the meeting gets to the point of disrespecting you, you know, just take your stuff, walk out. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. And I'm so glad that was what I did. Remember, if you haven't subscribed yet to this channel, hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you can stay on top of all the videos that I put every Fridays or Sundays, or sometimes both days. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.